Hello, I'm TheTerrificTracy, and this is Cocoron. It's going to be a really fun, bizarre game I'm sure most people haven't heard of or seen, and I hope everybody's already having a good night. I'm glad that we're all supporting this great cause, and I'm ready to get into it whenever everybody else is. So,
yep, we are all ready for you to start.
Alright, cool. So, the time will start when I hit start here. So, 3, 2, 1, go. Now, about this game, there's a lot of stuff to mention at the very beginning. So, first off, Cocoron is about entering a dream world where you can create your own heroes, and you go off on a very fun adventure. This person here is the Tapir. They're going to help us make our heroes. So, the heroes here are built with very specific needs in mind, at least the first 3. So, right here I'm making a hot-headed dragon, and their purpose is to be able to go fast, fly, and do a lot of damage. Some of the other heroes will not be built for fighting purposes, but they're gonna make them out of really fun parts, and they're gonna be able to go pretty fast. So we'll use them a few times, but we're mostly gonna be using the hot-headed dragon here. So anyway, we're off on a little adventure. We came to the Milk Sea, and we're questioning this pirate because we heard about a princess who was kidnapped. Now, out of most of the speed games, Okay, good. Out of most of the speed games I've played, this has the most intense mashing. So, like, there's a lot of that. Like, just, I'm shooting a ton of shurikens into every boss, pretty much. Now, we've destroyed the pirate ship, and he's like, I'm sorry, I don't know anything, but I'll stop doing bad things, or something like that. So then the Tapir comes back, and we're off to make another hero. Now, something fun about the history of this game is that it was made by ex-Capcom employees who worked on Mega Man 2. Apparently, they didn't like something that was going on there, I'm not sure what, and they left the company, and they were like, okay, let's make a game better than Mega Man. So it was actually funny, Capcom rushed Mega Man 3 to compete with this game. And if you've ever played Mega Man 3, sometimes it feels very unoptimized and laggy. Although, funnily enough, this game also lags during some moments, but I don't think it's nearly as bad. But anyway, now we are heading on to this castle here, where we will find that an evil Joker has trapped the king and the queen in a deck of cards. And this is the first point in the run where it's a little scary because you can get really bad luck on the Joker. This is like the first point where I might actually die, but there's not a lot of very concerning points otherwise. Now, this fight starts off with this deck of cards that I don't have to hit every single one of these, but I do need to hit the very last one so that the next one spawns in immediately. Although, just to be clear, I try to hit as most as possible anyway, just because I feel like it helps me out, usually. But my shurikens are so small, and they're about as big as my targets, so I miss them quite often. But if you had anything to say, Lori, now would be an okay time for that, I'd say.
Don't believe we have any new donations.
Alright. So, now here comes the Joker, and he's gonna give me a variety. Oh gosh. Okay, that was the best pattern. He can go in a bunch of different ways, but if he stays at the very top, I can just trail him and shoot as many shurikens as possible, so I actually got really good luck, which is great. And if you saw at the end, my health was dangerously low. Like, this character is built for speed, so out of the body parts and weapons I picked, I don't have a lot of health, but yeah, that was actually really nice. Very, very nice. Now, the characters I'm making don't really have any official names, but we have some fun names that some of us like to give them. Like, I just made the pumpkin boat there. And the character I made before that was Happy Quacky, because they sort of have wings and a smiley face. Now, we know that the hot-headed dragon is used primarily for all the damage, but the Happy Quacky is used for levels where there is no fighting because they are as light as possible, which means their health is dangerously low, but it's okay because we're just gonna rush through the levels without any need for fighting anything when we use them. And then the pumpkin boat is made for just one specific level in the mid-game. But anyways, so we came here and we find that Santa is trapped in some ice. We need to help him out. This evil tiny dragon has been up to no good. Now, the way this fight works is really interesting. Oh my gosh, nice. So the way this fight works is really interesting, where you have to deal a certain amount of damage to break the dragon open, and then once it breaks open, if you fire anywhere on the screen, it tries to retaliate and move out of the way. But if you just stay inside of its hitbox, it won't do that. So it can be a little dangerous. There we go. Alright. Yeah, otherwise, it is very obnoxious trying to track it down. It'll fly around and it'll shoot weird projectiles at you. I have no clue what it is. But yeah, so now that dragon is back to normal, he's gonna lead Santa's sleigh. And up here is back. Now, the rest of the heroes we'll be creating will not be used, so they're going to be made out of the fastest parts possible. So for the first one, I'm just going to hit A until we get to the end. And speaking of, my favorite thing is that after you pick all the parts, you're supposed to name them, but you can just put in a blank name. Oh, and here we get to see that penguins are actually nightmare creatures. Very, very terrifying. Also, yes, this scenery is great. We are jumping on eclairs, and there are a bunch of pink floating whales. And these stars are very annoying. They are random, and if they fall on me, they can hurt a lot. And here's Harvest Moon. That's the only thing I remember about this boss. I don't remember anything else. Most of the bosses have names, but I've not played the translation in a while. Okay, good. That could have been really bad. The closer, I always go to the left, but if he can spawn anywhere, the left, the middle, or the right, and if he spawns closest to me, there's a chance that the stars, as they're rotating around me, might hit me, and if they hit me, it kills me in one hit. But yeah, so... Gonna keep continuing on. Make another hero. So we're still looking for that princess, and the fun thing is, about this game, the level order, you can go between any two levels, and the path that you get between those two levels is actually unique for each. So there's like 5 or 6 different locations, and then if you combine every possible path between them, you get like 20 or so unique levels. It's pretty cool. So it makes casual play really fun, but I go through a like counterclockwise order in the run just to make sure I get through them all efficiently. If you go the same order but backwards, then you'll go through the level backwards. So the task does this level first, because like it goes up these really fast, which are very annoying to go up. I don't even like going down them. And the boss coming up here is the easiest one, even though I think the pirate ship is pretty easy. But this one, I think Titania here is not very serious. Okay. Also, something to note, that noise that you're hearing, This game originally has a ton of flashing. Like, it's so bad, like a serious eye hazard. Fortunately, somebody has been kind enough, Nova the Squirrel, she made a patch for the game that removes that, and it is legal for speedrunning, since it doesn't alter anything else. Because it would flash here as well. It flashes every time a boss dies, flashes every time the Tupier appears, and it flashes a lot between other cutscenes, so like your eyes are just constantly under attack. So we should all be grateful we don't have to deal with that. But anyway, so at the end there, we rescued Cocoron here, this fairy child, who is gonna drop a lot of knowledge on us. Apparently, the one who kidnapped the princess was actually the Tupier, and he also kidnapped Cocoron's brother, Cocoron, which I find to be funny that we don't hear about Cocoron until about halfway through the game, even though it's named after him. But, yeah. I don't know what else I would have named it, though. So, here we're going to be using Happy Quacky, because we're zooming around now. I do have to be really careful in the levels I use them in. I can't take very many hits at all. Yeah, so if you come to this path, the princess is always in this egg. And now that we've saved the princess, the Tupier has kidnapped all the other heroes that I've made, so now I have to go rescue them. And this is the scariest part of the game, because this is like a 5-level gauntlet, and if I die in any of these levels, I have to go back to the very start where I'm at right now. Speaking of, the screen has peak design. Like, there's so many sprites and it's so laggy, but I'm glad you can take a pretty easy path through it. Just gonna go through here. Those turtles, by the way, they appeared before, but I never mentioned it. Those turtles are extremely dangerous. If they hit you with the hot-headed dragon, it takes out like over half my health, but if they hit me at all when I'm this character, it will just annihilate me. And this one right here, the next level coming up, I think sometimes we call it Nevada. This is very scary because these cactuses do a lot of damage, so I don't want to make any contact with any of these whatsoever. Oh my gosh, no way that happened. Alright, well that's cool. I don't get too many iframes, so that was unfortunate. I was intended to touch that enemy, but I got caught on the collision of the cactus afterwards, so that's a little rough. The scary thing about that room also is that I'm gonna take damage on purpose twice from 2 of the enemies, so like if I did get hurt by a cactus at the start, then I literally couldn't take any damage from anything else. But yeah, well, it'll be fine. If there's anything to say now, it'd be an okay time for that.
Still don't see any new donations. And
Okay.
I covered a lot during the intermission, so I guess we just
fair.
time.
Okay. I will try to keep focused then. Let's not get hurt by cactuses in Nevada. There we go. Clean jump there. And now we have these cute skunks and UFOs, and I'm fine. Alright, so through there. We're still not out of it yet, though. The next screen can also be scary sometimes. This is going to be the only level where I'm going to use the pumpkin boat, because we are going to be traveling on top of milk, and if your body is any of the boat types, then you just get the boat on top of it. Otherwise, it would be very awful trying to swim through the milk. But as bad as it is under there, it's also kind of rough up here. I want to be extremely careful. I can take a bit more damage than the Happy Quacky, but I'd prefer to not take any risk anyway. But since we're through that, nothing else can really get me at this point. The next level is easy to finish, and after that, there's checkpoints that won't send me back so far. There still is one more daunting part to the game, but I feel fine on it. Stay. I really like these whales. A lot of the level design and sprites in this game are so cute. Or are those little fish? I honestly don't know what type they are. Oh, come on. So we got every hero, and now we are going to fight the Tapir. So yeah, the Tapir says, "Hey, you guys are all supposed to be making a very tasty dream for me to eat." Not very appreciative of the fact that we don't want that to happen. But anyway, so with this fight, I like it a lot because you can only get one hit in usually, but if you shoot them well enough, you can make 2 hit at once. And as you may have noticed, that looked like it was very easy, but that's okay because it's not over yet. So now we've saved Cocoron, and he's like, okay, you have one more showdown to go, so like, alright. And this is the hardest level in the game. This one is kind of ridiculous. Nice. Well, that wasn't good. Don't really want to take a lot of damage. I can take up to 1 hit from one specific enemy, or else I will be at risk of dying to the boss, because the boss will deal so much damage that I will die in 3 hits normally, and at this point I have 2 hits to go off of, but hopefully I'll be fine. These flames are the scariest enemy, probably. They chase you around and they deal over half of your health, or at least about half. It takes 2 to kill you, so be careful what you put on your cakes. Alright, good. This penguin right above me here is usually what I get hurt on because it doesn't really matter. Yeah, and then the drops that you get out of the eggs are not guaranteed, so I would probably take more to get some health back, but that's okay. I'll just go into this with confidence. Also, I love those Tapir statues, they're like the cutest. Alright, so he's like, part 2, let's go. He's actually a lot tougher this time because there's so many more eggs coming my way. Oh, also, sometimes, so my projectiles can hit the eggs themselves, which gets really annoying if they block my path. Oh gosh. Alright. Oh my gosh, I got it! Yeah, don't worry about getting hit, just play well. Now, timing is gonna end when the music ends. Right about here. And that's time. So, we've stored the Tapir in an egg, and everybody gets to have peaceful, fun dream adventures. So, honestly, that went a lot better than I expected, despite the cactus problem. Alright, so I'm gonna be doing another run up next, but I think we'll have a short moment, so stick around, please.